tour of where I'm staying and just see if this is at about the right angle. It seems like it is. So, in any event, here I am with little Margaux. How you doing, Margaux? She looks sad. She shouldn't be. She's going out for a walk. And this is the room. I am on a trip to Las Vegas, Lake Las Vegas, and there's Margaux. She's tired. It's my first trip with Margaux, and we're enjoying ourselves quite a bit. Came up with a really interesting marketing campaign today. I don't know, let me try to summarize my thoughts about today. On the drive down, I had some major revelations about my relationship with my father that I think that will have a tremendous impact. And I just wanted to take an opportunity to kind of describe those thoughts and feelings in the moment. I just envisioned what my dad would have been like under the circumstances that he was living, truly trying to be entirely empathetic and closing my eyes and just what was his life like at my age. By comparison, I'm 46, about to turn 47. When he was 47, he had been married for the second time. First to Polly, a woman 14 years his senior, and when he was about 20 or so, and married to her for 11 or 12 years, and within 2 weeks after her death, and which had to be devastating to him, you know, she was a world famous pinochle player, he was a card player, he had no expectation of having children at that phase of his life. She couldn't have children, and married my mother. I think he was engaged met my mother with 2 weeks after Polly was in the grave, and engaged and married inside of 3 or 4 months. And you know, 9 months thereafter, we started having the first of 3 children. And if I were to really empathize with my father, I suppose that he would have much preferred the lifestyle that I'm living to the one in which he ended up living. Whether the fact that he had control of that but didn't do something about it, you know, I guess is something I resented him for 46 years, or you know, some portion of that. When in retrospect, he probably, you know, hadn't had enough time to think it through, and found himself in a series of situations due to whether it be insecurity or whatnot, not malice. He ended up with my mother, who at the time was 30 years of age and unmarried and a virgin at that, and you know, desiring nothing more than having children as quickly as she possibly could. And my father, who just, you know, was survived by his dream wife at the time, and I suppose that fast forward that to, you know, however old I was when my father was 46, 12, 13, I don't know, together with my sisters in unison, it's a very different life. I don't know how I would have responded in a similar circumstance. You know, I think my father wasn't cut out to be a dad, and unfortunately that showed in the way in which he raised us. You know, it's hard for me because I compare that to people that I know are good dads. My friends, every one of my friends, you know, once they became a father, you know, life changed for all of them. You know, hard for me because I preferred the person without the kid, and where they were friendly and had a lot of stuff to do, but you know, what they did was right, and that is they put their children first and their children's lives. And my father, I don't think I ever was prepared to do that, and I think, you know, by his own statements, he said, you know, I come first, second, and third, you know, in meaning speaking about himself. He really meant it. And I always felt that when my father said how many, all the close people in his life left him, I never really considered what it would have been like to be about, I don't know, in effect, into a marriage for 14 years like I am, and madly in love with my wife like I am, Laura. And the next day, she dies. I mean, just, it would be devastating. I mean, you know, and I think as I put it into some perspective, I mean, it's as if, you know, right now, you know, I'm living this life of, you know, of freedom and happiness, and tomorrow, you know, the person that has enabled me to do so and who I love sharing my life with and share so many interests with, Laura, one of which is poodles, the love of poodles, you know, as our children. If she died, I mean, I don't know, what would I do? And if I found myself in a marriage that, you know, involved a woman who I loved dearly but wanted to immediately procreate and pops them out one after another, two of which are problematic and one of which, in terms of my sisters, and one of which in my case, you know, I view as a threat to my attention, I suppose I probably wouldn't have been a really good dad. So, does this make it okay? No. But can I understand, you know, a lot more about, you know, why he acted the way he did, and as a result forgive him? Yeah, I think I can. It's hard because for, you know, a lot of history with my dad, so, you know, this sort of thinking helps clarify things. And in any event, whether I show this video to anyone or no one, at least if I want to reflect on what I was thinking at the moment I forgave my father, at that very moment and that very experience, and what was because I want to remember it. This is it.